Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is January 27, 2026, and Barcelona have sealed not one, but two signings. And I'm going to tell you who they are. Also, Barcelona have secured the future of one of the most promising prospects currently in La Masia. And I'm also going to tell you who that is. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Boo. I'm still out of the country, still away from home, away from my YouTube studio. This is why I'm doing this short live stream to bring you all the Barcelona news while I'm on the road. This is not a podcast, so I won't be reading the comments section, but of course, I will be reading them afterwards. So make sure to drop them down below, giving me your thoughts and opinions about the incredible news that I'm about to give you. Now, let's dive right into the news. Because, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is a big, huge, colossal, massive day because Barcelona will be playing the final Champions League match of the group stages, and it will be against FC Copenhagen. Right now, Barcelona are in ninth position, and tomorrow the club, not only do they need to defeat FC Copenhagen at home at the Spotify Camp Nou, but also we need to do it by several goals to make sure that we finish the group stages in the top 8 positions, because the top 8 positions qualify directly into the round of 16. If we finish out of the top 8, Barcelona will have to play 2 playoff matches in order to try to qualify to the round of 16. Now, I have no doubts that if Barcelona do play those 2 playoff matches, they'll be able to win them and move on to the round of 16. But of course, given how hectic and busy the calendar is, the last thing we want to do is add 2 more matches. So hopefully tomorrow Barcelona will defeat FC Copenhagen and will do so by several goals so we can qualify directly into the round of 16 and avoid having to play 2 more matches in what has been an incredibly busy and hectic calendar. Now, ahead of tomorrow's match, of course, the team today completed the final training session as they are getting ready for tomorrow's challenge. And of course, the challenge is going to be made even more difficult by the fact that Barcelona will be missing 2 of their key midfielders. Of course, Pedri, who is currently injured and will be out for a month. And second, Frankie de Jong, who will be suspended for tomorrow's match for accumulation of yellow cards. So it's going to be interesting to see who Hansi Flick picks for tomorrow's midfield. I'm thinking maybe Dani Olmo next to Eric Garcia, or maybe Dani Olmo and Marc Casado in that double pivot with Fermin Lopez as our attacking midfielder. We're going to have to wait and see for tomorrow. But of course, I want to hear you guys' guesses. Who do you think Flick will start in the midfield since Frankie and Pedri will not be available? Now, the good news is, because this is, of course, bad news that Pedri and Frankie won't be available, but the good news is that guess who joined today's training? Well, it was no other than the Shark, Ferran Torres. He officially joined the training with the group, which means he will be available for tomorrow. And in fact, Hansi Flick confirmed this during the pre-match press conference. So this is not speculation. This is not rumors. Ferran not only participated in the group training, but Hansi Flick confirmed that, yes, he will be available tomorrow, that he has recovered, and that he could get some minutes. Now, of course, given how things work out with injured players, my guess will be that Flick will probably start Lewandowski and then bring in Ferran, because usually when a player recovers from injury, they don't start their first match back. But again, we don't know. We're going to have to wait and see until tomorrow. But that's my guess. Let me know yours. Now, on to the next bit of news, because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona have sealed the signing of a player that I told you about several days ago, which no other than Joubensli Einstein, the 18-year-old Dutch defender who was, not anymore, but was playing for Genk in Belgium. And now Barcelona have signed him for Barça Athletic in order to replace, of course, Mamadou Mbake, who has went back to the MLS, and Andres Cuenca, who has agreed to join Cuomo. Now, Joubensli Einstein is also a international with Netherlands under 18. He was set to join AC Milan, and then when Barcelona called him, he picked up the phone and said, "I'm coming," hung up, called up AC Milan and said, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to Italy." And he has decided to join for Barcelona, sign for Barcelona. In fact, the agreement is completely done. And not only that, Juventus Leonstein has already passed his medical exams in Barcelona, which means we should expect an official announcement by the club maybe as early as tomorrow. Well, Barcelona have completed another signing, Juventus Leonstein, after, of course, completing the signing of Hamza Abdelkarim, and with many more signings about to close. What a crazy winter transfer market we're witnessing, where Deco and Joao Amaral have been signing young, promising players left and right. Now, speaking of young, promising players, Barcelona have sealed the signing of yet another player that we talked about several days ago, and it's no other than Patricio Pacifico. Yes, Patricio Pacifico. We talked about him. I think it was on Monday or Sunday. Probably Sunday. I can't remember. It's irrelevant. But anyways, Patricio Pacifico is a 19-year-old Uruguayan left back, considered one of the most promising players right now to come out of Uruguay. Someone that's tall, physically dominant, and technically gifted. And Barcelona have sealed his signing. Some people are even comparing him to Valverde. Interesting comparison. But Patricio Pacifico, one of the most promising players to come out of Uruguay and Barcelona, have sealed his signing. He will be joining Barça Athletic on loan until the end of the season, with an option to buy worth 1.8 million euros fixed, plus some variables, and they're saying it would be for 80% of the rights of the player. So if Barcelona activate this option to buy, they would only be buying 80% of the player, with his former club Sporting de Uruguay keeping the other 20%. Now, they're saying also the option to buy is automatically triggered if Patricio Pacifico plays a minimum of 30 minutes in 10 matches. So, it looks like Barcelona are very confident in this guy's ability, because that seems like a pretty easy option to fulfill or to automatically trigger. But Patricio Pacifico, ladies and gentlemen, has sealed his agreement for with Barcelona. And in fact, he was spotted with his agent at the airport in Uruguay, headed towards the city of Barcelona. So expect this announcement to be made official by the club pretty soon. But ladies and gentlemen, we are cleaning house, signing players left and right. But no, Barca doesn't sign. They just track players. Anyways, let's end today's video with another good news, because ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona have sealed the agreement, or have sealed the future, for now, of course, of one of the most promising and standout talents currently in La Masia. No, it's not Ebrima Tunkara, because we already talked about Ebrima Tunkara. But now we got to talk about David Moreno. David Moreno, if you haven't heard of him, 14 years old, left-footed midfielder, currently working his way through Barcelona's youth categories. He is considered a standout talent in what is an academy full of talent. In fact, he's considered a player with probably the greatest projection in the entire La Masia, someone who stands out for his creativity, strong reading of the game, dribbling ability, and most importantly, his eye for goal. In fact, some seasons he has matched the numbers of center forwards, even though he is a pure midfielder. I mean, to be a midfielder and be able to put up numbers as a center forward, that is pretty insane. Now, David Moreno can play as a right interior and as a left interior, but lately he has been played as a center midfielder. And again, considered one of the most promising players currently in La Masia, and he has officially signed a contract extension with Barcelona. Of course, he cannot sign a professional contract yet, because you have to be 16 to do it, and David Moreno is 14. But just know that David Moreno has extended his contract with Barcelona. And it's, of course, great, very great news, because not only is it important to sign players, more importantly, we need to keep those talented ones that we already have here at home. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did go live a few moments ago. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure to check it out. Lots of good news in that video as well. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Barça.